And welcome to Rebel Republic, the most popular political show and most controversial political show in all of Massachusetts, in all of New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, Delaware, Rhode Island, New York, New Jersey, you name it. We are the Rebel Republic. You're either with us or you're against us. And with me, as always, the man himself. He's been able to stay awake and laugh at me. Coach Schumann. Coach, great to see you. Yes, you're thrilled. You're thrilled. And we have the voice of reason himself, Frank Cristiano. Frank. So Frank, I'm going to throw you under the bus.
Will you please bring the president to the front?
I don't see the humor in that. I'm going to throw you under the bus a little
please.
Bit. I had a little talk with William Keeler.
Yes.
He was nice enough to drive me home after the show.
I can imagine he did.
And I told him that you all along had said that the Democrats had a plan to have Biden drop out of the race and Michelle Obama was going to run
Correct.
in her place.
Correct.
Bill said that was absolute BS. That would have never happened, and you don't know what you're talking about, and you're a lunatic.
Well, I don't know. I don't think I'm a lunatic. I think I do know what I'm talking about.
Well, he disagrees.
I think the problem is that, well, you know what? It's all coming out right now in written form. So there's a book coming out right now that's titled Fight. And the writers have interviewed many people behind the scenes. At
it was written by Biden's chief of staff.
That is correct.
Yeah.
So bottom line, it tells a tale of Barack Obama going to Joe Biden and asking him to step down.
Well, he didn't really ask.
Well, he basically told him he had to.
Told him.
But it also tells the story of that Barack Obama the Obamas did not want Vice President Kamala Harris to be the candidate.
No, they didn't.
For the Democratic Party.
Well, no, they didn't.
Obama did not want that. So obviously you could see what happened is where Joe Biden actually woke up for a few seconds and nominated Harris as his replacement right away.
After he had his ice cream.
To piss off Barack Obama, who had basically told him actually it wasn't Obama, it was Nancy Pelosi that had to tell Joe Biden that he's senile and needs to step down immediately. So right in the inner workings, my thought process is, and Obama wanted a very quick, short span primary.
And Bill said that's also not true at all. He said there's no way they could have had a primary.
That's what. But if Obama wanted it, and they wanted to back Obama, it would have happened. The reason is that Nancy Pelosi didn't want a primary. Nancy Pelosi was the driving force at wanting a female candidate.
Yeah, because
for president of the United States.
Caused more problems if they had a primary.
I don't think it would have caused more problems. I think actually people would have been happier.
Dissension.
No, because every side would have put their candidate up. So every side would have put their candidate up, whether they're far left, they would have put up some lunatic, or whether they are a middle of the road Democrat and they would put up their candidate, or whether someone wanted to put Kamala Harris's name into the.
Was somebody drinking honey?
Yes, we had tea. Remember, we had tea here before.
Dave, yes. if they were to do this hypothetical primary, as Frank said, would it have been like a nationwide primary? Like they would have done every state in one day? Or would they have taken like a month and done a primary? Because it was in June. They had time to do it. I'm just curious as to your thoughts. If they did have a primary, how it would have been run.
I don't discuss Democrat politics.
It's poison.
Well, no, it's not discussing. I'm just asking your opinion. You
My
can't give an
opinion
opinion.
is we're looking back as whether they should have had a primary.
No. If they did, how would it have been run? That's all I'm asking. How do you think it would have been run?
Poorly.
That's the breakdown. Thank you for playing, everyone. We will see you next week on Rebel Republic. You're either with us or you're against us. The information is solid.
I can't breathe.
The in-depth analysis is beyond rapport.
Stop it. No.
Poorly.
Okay. It would have been run poorly.
All right, no, I'll give you a quick breakdown of it. Here's how they would have had to have. I mean, I guess they would have had to set up polls in every state.
Yeah,
in a very quick fashion,
in like a week or so, or
they would have put every candidate that wanted to run on there. They would have required a very low number of votes, and basically, you would have just had. First of all, I don't think I saw an interview. With Michelle Obama, with a bunch of things. I don't know that she ever really wanted to run. I think it was trying to be forced.
And that's what Bill said.
Bill I can agree that it might have been forced on her. I thought it would have been a cooperative talk with her and her husband, because really, look, yes, the people want Michelle, but the people really wanted Barack. The Democrats in this country loved Barack Obama.
They would have taken him again.
Well, they can't take him again because he's already run his 2 terms as president. So my idea was the backdoor way of sliding him in.
He would have run the country.
No, he would have been the vice president.
Michelle
Obama would have been the candidate and be the face, but Barack Obama would be the vice president and run the country like he did the previous 8 years.
The great thing is none of it matters.
No, right. None of it matters. I just wanted Keeler wanted me to tell you.
Well, Keeler, listen, Bill Keeler.
He vehemently wanted to say you were wrong, and
that's okay. I respect Bill Keeler.
And you're ignorant.
Bill Keeler says he's a Republican, a registered Republican.
No, he's
which has to be a lie. Correct.
He's a Democrat.
That is correct. He is not just a Democrat. He is a far. I mean, he's teetering farther and farther to the left.
Well, yes,
right, because of the questioning of every policy that has ever been put out by Donald Trump and this administration from when he was president in 16 to 20 and now, because again he falls under
like Trump personal.
Exactly, and that's where the problem is.
TDS,
that is where the problem is. Correct. This guy lives in the heads of 56 million Americans. Well, I would say, yeah, because I'm
rent free. He lives rent free.
Lives. I'm discounting a few because bottom line, I think they're more in the middle,
right?
And it doesn't bother them. But I would say 25% of the country, 20% of the country, somewhere.
He's living rent free.
He's living in their heads,
rent free. Dave, I wanted to mention this to you because we had talked about the Venezuelan gangs last week and some of the deportations. The Supreme Court on Monday granted President Trump's request to vacate a lower court's ruling barring the administration from using a 1798 wartime immigration law to immediately deport Venezuelan nationals, including alleged members of the Tren de Aragua gang.
Aragua.
Whatever. Yeah. But that was a pretty big deal from the U.S., making a significant victory for the administration as it advocates key immigration priorities. Were you surprised at this, that the Supreme Court granted Trump's request to lift the halt on the Venezuelan immigrants and other immigrants as well?
It's a Republican Supreme Court, so it's going to go his way.
Well, it was 5-4. Yeah.
Still going to go his way.
Yeah.
So who was the one who, which Republican, because isn't there 6
There's
Republicans?
6 conservative voices, yeah.
Who was the one who dissented from the Republican side? I'm just curious.
It does not say. I'm looking.
Would it be
Who voted
Justice
for it?
Roberts? Would it be Justice
Justice
Roberts?
Roberts is the one that's more in the middle, I think.
Right.
It was. Yeah, it doesn't say who it was. It does not.
My thing is this, and the ruling is correct only for this reason, if anything. We can't allow circuit court judges who represent basically their own circuit, their own area, their own region, let's say. We can't let them stall national policy all the time. Just because they have it.
That's what happened.
And they're using they're not using a credible thought process. They're using more of, hey, wait a minute, we got to stop this. This is just, everything's going too fast. Everything's going too fast. We got to slow it all down. Everyone has due process, first of all. And granted, there's one individual right now who may have gotten caught into it, but he's still, it seems that he has a criminal record and he's been part of gangs. So I don't know how valid that statement is, but they're always worried someone's going to slip through the cracks. And but bottom line, you're talking about thousands of people that have been deported using that law.
Yeah.
And I would say probably
from
99.99999% have actual correct cases to get them out of the country.
Oh,
so,
of course.
And remember, this is a federal mandate.
Yes.
To start to close the borders, clean up illegal immigrants, especially dangerous illegal immigrants off the bat.
Yes.
Right. So this process is a national process, a federal process. The district court judge can't be the one always throwing a wrench into the machine,
screwing everything up.
Exactly.
So it delays the inevitable.
So Supreme Court gave the correct ruling, which is bottom line: the district people, keep your hands off of it. If it's got to go, it's got to go to the Supreme Court.
Yeah. Another interesting report I read was a communications director for former Vice President Kamala Harris created a so-called death pool roster of federal judges appointed by a Republican that could swear in Harris as president in the event that Joe Biden died suddenly, according to a new book. And it's the book being written by the chief of staff. The book, Fight Inside the Wildest Battle for the White House, was published is going to be published tomorrow by William Morrow and Company. Claims that Harris, White House Communications Director Jamal Simmons, crafted an entire communication strategy to employ in the event of Biden's death. So apparently Harris, even though she's the VP, Dave, she was rooting for Biden's demise.
Cruel.
I mean, isn't that just a bit much to just to?
Yeah. So, of course. Well, come on. Would you expect anything else from her? She's a wingnut.
You're on his team. You can't want him to die. You're rooting against. You're making a plan for him to die. You know, a succession plan.
It's basically a wingnut. I don't know.
She's a wingnut? What's a wingnut?
She was obviously putting the arsenic in Biden's coffee in the morning. She's just waiting for him to take a sip instead of eating an ice cream, and that would have finished the whole job, and then she would be president of the United States. Don't you understand the greed and gluttony of that woman?
I do now.
Within she, you got to understand something.
I was just shocked.
She was anointed within 24 hours of maybe it took about a week, but she was anointed. It seemed like within 24 hours to being the next candidate for the Democratic Party for the presidential race. And within that time, millions and millions and millions of dollars were pouring in donations.
Oh, huge.
From every superstar, every TV show host, every model, every actor, anybody you could think of, musicians. And so her head started to swell the size of a Macy's Day Parade float.
And it is already the size of a Macy's.
So this report doesn't shock me one bit. I mean, they were ready for it because they felt it was going to happen. Whether it be assisted along the way by them, who knows who was doing what in the White House, or whether it just naturally happened, and then she just pops in and becomes the president right the next day because of his death.
And Dave, I remember Frank saying this before. Isn't it true that the war chest they raised for fundraising If Kamala didn't run, they would have had to give that money back.
If Kamala, that's a good question. I'm not sure.
Biden's war chest, Biden's funds would have to be
Okay, yeah, I don't really
distributed
know.
back. So she took it. She's taking over those funds for campaign.
Yeah, she took over the funds for the campaign. That was the main reason that they kept her there, because they couldn't lose that money. But
they would get more money though.
I
I made mention of that about when it was going on at the time.
Yes,
and there were people that responded to my post and said it doesn't matter. They could lose $500 million. They'll find another $500 million right away. I mean, they blew through 1.5 billion.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, like it was water.
And she still was 10 million short or whatever she was. She was in debt.
Yes. Yeah,
she had to she's got to repay that. She was asking for donations after she lost.
I wonder where she lives right now.
But with Biden, probably somewhere.
Is she married?
Yes.
What's her husband do?
Doug Imhoff, I think is that his name. Yeah, that's
Is he white?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, she married a white guy.
Yes.
Oh well, that's terrible.
Yes, but listen, so did Ilhan Omar. You know Ilhan Omar?
No, I don't know.
She's the congressperson from Minnesota.
A white guy?
She's married to a white guy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's unusual. Black women don't like white men.
Who else is there? There's that's incorrect.
No,
black women love white men.
I beg to differ on that one.
They do. Maybe the ones you hung out with didn't like white men, but
black women were always tougher on black men.
They are because they want. They are, but because they want the cream of the crop. They have no problem.
Cream of the crop.
Correct. They want financially stable.
Oh, like the best.
They want no, not like that, because that's not the cream of the crop. They're just milking off of them.
Okay.
They want financially stable young African Americans who are strong, ambitious, handsome, right? Ambitious, can take them and treat them out and all that,
and have hammers for cock.
That's what they want. That's a possibility too. That's what they want. But what they end up doing is get impregnated by every second-hand street loser.
Yeah,
they have 4 or 5 children.
Well, that's because they want more money. They need more money they get more.
I don't understand it. I don't understand. Why
are you covering your face? What did I say that was wrong?
Well, we're going off. We're going off more on.
I was curious. I was curious. That's all. No, I didn't mean to be off the rails. I was just curious about it. I didn't know that she was married to a white guy. Bill mentioned on the show today that everyone's freaking out because Wall Street is completely tanking.
Right.
And there's
Wall Street is tanking because of algorithms and nothing else.
Exactly. But will it adjust itself? Will it readjust? Will it get back to where we were?
This could be.
And how long will it take?
This could
that
be
was the argument.
Listen, in the last, I don't know how many years, 2008 to we're 26, almost 20 years. The last 20 years have been 3. This will be the 3rd. There have been 2 other great opportunities at financial wealth, at gaining financial wealth. One, the stock market crashed in 2008.
When you could buy them.
Yeah, you buy down low. And then at COVID.
Right.
COVID, the market went up 50%. And now this. Now, this is smaller in stature, but it's scarier in the actual process because people are scared that of the unknown. We don't know what tariffs are.
Lose their money. Yeah.
We don't know what tariffs are going to do. We don't know what's going to cost us. We don't know what's going to happen. So some are selling because of fear, the retail ones, and the others, some of the wealthiest, Warren Buffett pulled out $300 billion and has it on the side.
Buying on bargain.
He pulled it out before the market crashed.
Yeah.
So how does he know when the market is going to crash?
The insider trade.
Possibly, who knows? But what I'm saying is that there's an opportunity now, in the next month or so, 2 months, you got to let everything smooth out. You got to let negotiations happen between countries with tariffs. You got to get a little bit of sense of stability on everything. And then is the time to, if it's possible for people, when you have money to buy and invest, that would be a time to invest in the market.
Dave, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think the market will eventually correct itself? And how long do you think it will take? We debated this on the radio, because there were many people concerned about the tariffs and how it's affecting Wall Street and the market, and how long it will take to get back to normal.
Well, I think you're going to have to see how the tariffs take effect and what happens there. So, it's a risky move. It's been a risky move, in my opinion, but it's probably a necessary move to try to get the trade balance together. So we don't get ourselves in a worsening situation.
You think the tariffs were a risky move?
course.
I think it was a little bit of a risky move. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do think that there is potential tremendous long-term benefits from us getting a trade balance, and getting us back to a position of power, especially, supposedly, egg prices are dropping, gas prices are
Yeah.
dropping. Supposedly this is supposed to be good for the farmers, the trade tariffs, but it depends a little bit about how much of the manufacturing or any of those things actually come back to America, or how many of the suppliers of things like, let's say, cars. I don't know, people were supplying accessories to cars. How much of that starts to become made in America again? Does that make an opportunity there? If it does, then the trade tariffs will be good, because it makes if a product costs $20 in America to make, and it costs $10 to make in China, let's say, and now a trade balance makes it 20 and 20. It's good for us, gives us a chance to compete and make more of that money back, and then the government makes money back from the tariffs imposed on the companies importing, and so on and so forth. So it could be a good win for all, but it's going to take time in that
Yeah.
capacity. And then there's going to have to be, my guess is there's going to be some level of negotiation that happens from this whole thing, where Trump's trying to force that point in, and some of these countries have doubled down against it.
Yes.
It's a complicated thing, and I think that there's going to be pain in the stock market for a while, and the hope is that there was a big job loss in March. The hope is that the job losses don't, though that starts to stabilize, and we get to a position where the trade balance and fair trade gives us an opportunity to bring more jobs to America. The biggest question is, does that get to take a chance to have effect before the companies are affected by the loss in revenue, the loss of distribution, people losing jobs? Okay, that might be tied to overseas. I don't know. That's the $50 million question. The long term thing is, yes, it is good for us in America in the long run. But there's a lot of questions to me about it, because I don't know how AI affects all this kind of stuff. I don't know how much automation has affected things so much that, like, some of this stuff that this is from other administrations in the past have gone so far down a path where we're behind that we can make it up. That's the only thing I'm not sure about. I think Trump's ideas are really in the right place, but there's a lot of things that have to happen, and I feel like it's not a quick fix, and I'm not sure. I guess my biggest thing is it too far gone that we're in a big problem?
Really?
Yes. Yes. My question is this: are the products in China and other countries, and by tariffing them, is our manufacturing so far gone? And this might be a question to pose almost to Frank. Do we have the labor force to be able to do some of these jobs if it was an opportunity for us to come back? And do we have the people in place, if we were going to leverage stuff like AI to help us with some of these products to get made, or more efficiently, or computer, do we have the labor force with the education in those areas to know how to do it? That's my question, because we can impose these tariffs and it could work. But if we don't have the labor to start taking on some of those opportunities, then we could have a problem, And I push it back to Frank in the sense that Frank is used to dealing with a deficiency in getting people to work for him, and it's not
You
only
are.
because of a lack of skill. It's not only because of a lack of skill. There's a lack of want to, too.
Yeah,
So
yeah. The cannolis haven't been as good as lately. So
I don't know. I mean, that's my question on it, but it's
No, I agree. I agree.
Dave, you're correct. Well, maybe we'd have to take down the border wall again and let them all back in if we need more people to work. Although that's not skilled labor. Although with AI, it makes manufacturing a little easier for someone to pop in, because realistically, yes, you need the physical labor, you need the hands-on, you need that guy, you need a body, if someone that's breathing, but you may just be pushing a couple buttons here or there to let automation run it and produce. Now, how fast can we turn around and start getting factories up and operational for a lot of things? That's totally correct. I don't know, because listen, but it's not even just in manufacturing. So here's a trade imbalance. I was just listening to the radio today. Australia sells us 20 million pounds of beef a year. We buy
cow beef.
We buy beef right from Australia.
Oh,
we sell 0 pounds of beef to Australia because of the high tariffs. No one in Australia will buy our beef because they set the tariffs so high to protect their beef industry.
Right.
So that's just a small, simple example of it doesn't have to be all about manufacturing. We're talking about simple cattle trade that now maybe if we get on a fair tariff deal, maybe 0 tariffs on that, we could start exporting and selling beef all around the world, but especially to Australia. And so that's just one little small segment of what negotiation or reductions of tariff could help. Do we have the labor? We're going to have hundreds of thousands of federal employees that are going to be looking for jobs. Maybe they could matriculate into that kind of a workforce.
That's true.
But again, that all takes time. You're right. What is the timetable? So Apple puts $500 million or whatever into the U.S. or 500 billion. I'm sorry, into the U.S. How long does it take for them to get plants up, to get manufacturing, to get equipment running, to get AI integrated, to train people? I mean, it's not an overnight process. And do they want to do that? They say they're investing it, but do they want to get rid of the cheap? See, labor is the problem with everything. The cost of labor in this country is the problem with everything. And I'm telling you right now.
Inflation too, you said.
Well, the inflation is due to the cost of labor.
Right.
Yes, cost of product goes up to a little. I understand that completely, but it's due to the cost of labor. You got to realize something. We talked about this years ago when the minimum wage was $7.35, and then it was $10, and then it was $10.50, or now it's $20. Right. So when it was at like $8 or $8.35, or what it was, we're talking about this, if labor keeps going up, right? And that's just minimum. That's not what
they require.
I don't pay minimum. I pay more than that. Well, yeah, certain places do. You have to pay it. But if the labor keeps increasing, price of everything is going to go up.
Right.
It'll cost you more to build. It'll cost you more to order food. It'll cost you more to have someone cook your food. It'll cost you more to get your car. Everything, because labor is scaled. And if the scale goes too heavy to one side too fast, and that's what happened with that minimum fight to 15, fight to 20, fight to whatever it is. And again, I'm behind the labor almost the whole way. I understand they need to make more to survive. But at what point do we cut our own throats? Because I'll tell you right now, Vietnam is a successful trader because of cheap labor.
Vietnam
is a successful. China is a successful trader because of cheap labor.
So, Dave, let me ask you, because you ran a football camp this weekend. For your overhead and your labor, does it work out well enough for you where you're satisfied with your profit margins, or do you see it decreasing, and could it be better?
Well,
I know it's different, but
it is, because mine's always going to be American labor, right? Because expertise level. But
wait a minute, you don't have any Asian offensive line coaches helping you out there in the camps?
What we do have is a higher cost of labor in general, meaning minimum wage. Like if I'm going to have someone at a front desk, it's going to cost me $30 an hour. Are
you serious for registration?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's $30 an hour to have someone sit and do cards and take people's registration.
If I wanted to hire somebody, yeah, it's gonna be $30.
Jesus Christmas. Wow.
Who wants to do that? Unless you're getting compensated. See,
$30 an hour?
yeah.
Easiest job ever, but yes.
And you're only working a few hours. I mean, before you register everything in for camp. I mean, wow.
Yeah, but
that's why I was
the reality. That is the reality. So does that cut into margins? Absolutely. Our American workforce is very expensive relative to, I don't know, if I ran this, if in America football was if another country football was a big deal, which it isn't, but let's say it was, I don't know, let's say I was a soccer organization. I could do a lot better as a soccer organization, probably financially in, labor wise in another country. But the truth is, maybe it balances out because in America, people have more money to spend than in other countries. It may balance out. I don't know for sure because I'm not in another country. But cost of labor is definitely, wow, Florida won.
You should have seen the play they won on the last play of the game. Houston couldn't get a shot off. Almost double dribbled, and he let the ball go, and Florida just fell on it to run the clock out. It's crazy.
Dave, I wanted to tell you this story because we went over it on the radio, and I couldn't believe it, and I just had to share it with you. A man by the name of Jerome DeWald. He sat with his legs crossed and his hands folded on his lap in front of the judges at an appellate panel of the New York State courts, ready to argue for a reversal of a lower court's decision in his dispute with his former employer. The court had allowed Mr. DeWald, who is not a lawyer, to represent himself and accompany his argument with a video presentation. As the video began to play, it showed a man seemingly younger than Mr. DeWald, who was 74 years old, wearing blue collared shirt and jeans, and a beige sweatshirt, standing in what appeared to be a blurred virtual background. A few seconds into the video, one of the judges, confused by the image on the screen, asked Mr. DeWald if the man was his lawyer. And Mr. DeWald responded, "I generated that. That is not a real person." So Mr. DeWald created an AI version of himself to represent himself in court, in the appellate court.
Was the guy
and
good?
No, the judges went ballistic. They shut it down. They said, it would have been nice to know that when you made your application, you were going to pull this crap. She snapped at him. I don't appreciate it being misled. And she was yelling at him for someone to turn off the video. Mr. DeWald failed to disclose was that he created the digital avatar using AI software, the latest example of AI creeping into the U.S. legal system in troubling ways.
And his avatar was like, "Are you talking to me?
Did you hear that?
Are you talking to me?" No.
The man's ahead of his time.
Can you believe somebody did this?
Yeah.
He created a lawyer from AI.
Yeah, absolutely.
He put a video on. The guy was going to represent him. He put like a green screen up in the video.
If the AI guy started talking, would they have known the difference? That would have been the question.
Well, he said that he resorted to using the software in AI after stumbling over his words in his previous legal proceedings because he doesn't have enough money to hire a lawyer. So he created his own one because he couldn't talk.
Alexa, could you represent me at my next court case, please?
Could you please argue for murder into self-defense?
You hear Alexa? Alexa's in the background.
But I mean, isn't that going? I mean, AI is AI, but isn't that going too far with AI?
Alexa, is it going too far with AI?
I mean, it just seems like it's too much. Like
there is no too far. The AI only ends.
We're gonna have robots as referees. I mean,
yeah. Well, why not? It's going to end only in one way, with art of self-destruction. We may not be
Yeah.
here anymore at this point, but
don't we realize that? Like we're just gonna
We're too smart for ourselves. We are too smart for ourselves. Why do you think? All right. Why?
That's why Planet of the Apes is what's going to be.
Right. But why do you think that everyone is striving now in the space industry to get to Mars? Why do they got to get to Mars?
I applied to go to Mars.
Right. Why do we need to go to Mars?
Well, we're going to build a space station there, and people are going to live there.
Incorrect.
That is incorrect.
Yeah, that is incorrect.
It has water.
No. Mars is the launching point to explore outside of the universe. Mars will be a station. Maybe you're correct on that. It'll be a refueling station.
The middle point.
We have to get out of the universe. Why do we have to get out of this universe?
Because Earth is killing itself.
No.
Oh.
Why do we have to get out of this universe?
Because of the sun?
The sun is going to be extinct in maybe 2,000 more years, 4,000 more years.
And
not global warming. The sun is just going to burn out. It's a star. It's not going to last.
Okay.
So to keep
we're planning now for that.
To keep humanity in existence, right? Even if 10 people get off this planet and go to another solar system, and create life again, right? And procreate. We're keeping the human lives, the human system alive.
So you think it's necessary?
Oh, I think that I just said. Well,
what will happen to mine and Steve's frozen? Our areas where we're frozen. Will they shift that with to Mars for us?
The signal.
You think that's funny,
the signal will probably be worse because you'll be to Mars. From here to Mars, I can see
thought we were going to get frozen, Steve, and shipped.
I want to do cryogenics. If you'll do it with me, let's do it. I want to be frozen. I want to go into the future. I want to be Demolition Man. Just come with me. You can be Stallone. I'll be Wesley Snipes.
Dave, they'll wake Steve up out of cryo freezing. And the first thing he'll say is, when life gives you lemons, and they're like, oh, get this fucking guy back in there.
Oh my God! He's still talking about the lemon.
Bring him back up.
Shoot him with the ice gun again, please.
Dave, I believe in cryogenics, and there's nothing wrong with that. Ted Williams, his head is frozen. He believes in it.
I get it. Someone's gonna put, for Ted Williams' sake. I hope that they put him on somebody that's a good athlete's body. For God's sakes. Can you imagine if Ted Williams
put on Lizzo?
It's put on a guy and some guy who can't move or do anything. Oh, poor guy.
Well, it costs a lot of money to freeze the whole body, so he opted to go with the head. I mean, that's what he.
William Burr, put him in a wheelchair. Ted Williams' head on William Burr's body.
But you honestly don't believe within 5,000 years we'll figure out how to unthaw people and bring them back?
I don't know.
You can't say no.
I don't think it's a priority. They don't want you back.
They do.
Why don't?
Why do they have the Cryogenic Institute then?
To make money.
You think it's just purely a money man?
They are freezing you and throwing you right away into a box. That's it. See ya.
What do you do with Ted Williams' head? Let's.
Hey, it's my daughter's quinceañera. We need a piñata. Can we use Ted Williams' head and hang it from a string and beat it with a bat?
But he paid so much money to have it.
He's dead. He doesn't care. He's dead.
They take
the people that took the money are dead. That doesn't matter.
His son John Henry's frozen with him.
His son's frozen with him.
Yes.
Well, he's dead too. Then he ain't coming back either. They just took his money.
The point of it.
They took his money, Steve.
No, they didn't take his money.
Yes, they did.
You clearly don't understand cryo.
They took. Who's going to enforce the law? Who's coming back in 200 years going, oh my God, we signed this contract with Ted Williams.
Yes.
We better unfreeze his head now. Why? There's nobody enforcing that. The guys that signed the contract are going to be dead.
So you think this whole cryogenics thing is a scam?
It's to make
they're
money.
Freezing people and they're just making money.
It's to make money.
They have no intention to unfreeze.
No intention whatsoever. No, they're cure disease. You're going to freeze somebody. We have so much disease on us now. You want to transport us down the road 2,000 years to infect everyone with polio or with the measles? With the measles?
The second you die of cancer, the Alcor team comes and they put the liquid stuff in you.
Yeah, they're rushing there.
They freeze you.
Was this before or after you pay them?
Well,
You must be before you pay them, right? You pay them.
Well, it's part of your life insurance,
Right.
So you pay them first,
Right, and then a couple guys come with a gurney, and they jam ice cubes in your veins,
It's
and
not
they
ice
freeze you.
cubes,
Yeah,
it's like liquid nitrogen.
Yeah, it's Han Solo. It's when Han Solo got frozen into like this.
No, it's Demolition Man. It's Demolition Man.
Yeah, that is a movie. That is fantasy. It is not reality.
It is
That was
not.
Han Solo.
Yes, Han Solo. That's it. That is
Dave,
right there.
Dave, look up the
That was
Alcor
right
Institute
there.
right now. That's all I want you to do is look up the Alcor Institute.
Yeah, look it up, Dave.
We did this. You remember?
It's
Yeah,
100% real.
Tell me. I want to know the net value of Elcor.
It's a lot. Me and Steve looked it up. It was a lot.
It's very well
Right.
because it costs a lot of money to freeze people.
Right, and where do they put these
and
people?
maintain them.
Where are these people? Where are they kept?
They're in Arizona.
In a waste management bin. Where are they kept?
It's in Arizona.
Yeah.
And it's like
In the
you know,
hills.
like a coffin.
In Sandia Mountains. That's New Mexico. I'm sorry. So they're in a coffin.
They're like in this
In a freezer, in a big walk-in cooler.
yeah,
Right.
and it's minus 5 million degrees.
Of course it is. Yep. There it is.
There
There it is. There's Ted Williams. Yep. You can see.
What the hell? I haven't seen this. This is
That's Han
hilarious.
Solo. That's Han Solo.
Oh, that's from the movie.
Yeah.
That's not real.
No, the bottom middle one. That's Ted Williams. Right? Just his head.
All right. If it was real, I'd be scared, but that's not real.
Yeah, that's his head right there. That's worth. How much do they charge? 50 grand? 100 grand?
I don't know what the exact charge.
Yeah, that's worth it. I would pay it right.
Well,
off the bat.
the good part is it's a one-time charge.
One-time charge. There he is, Ted Williams. He's
No.
coming back. Yeah. See him? There's Ted Williams.
No, it says Han Solo. The good part is
the
it's
Silver Slugger.
it's a one-time
Or
charge,
Silver Splinter.
and they maintain you
Was a Stan Musial.
all the years it takes until you can be unfrozen.
It doesn't. They're not. You're done. You're done. You're in a vault somewhere, and no one is bringing you back.
You're telling me they're not working on ways to unfreeze you.
What are they going to do with his head? He doesn't have a body.
Well, no, that's the point. They're gonna reattach you
To what?
younger body part.
To what? What are they going to reattach you to?
Younger
body's-
bodies.
your
younger
body's-
bodies.
The body's not going to assimilate. You know how hard it is just to transplant a lung or a kidney and have the body accept it.
But you're not thinking
Ted
5,000 years down the
There's
road.
Ted Williams right there.
That's not
That is on the right,
That's not
upper
his
right.
real
That's
face.
it's his real face.
That's his bust.
Oh, that's him frozen in Arizona.
It's not him. Oh
he's,
my.
in, he's in Tempe.
Well, I
He
believe
lives on, there he is. There he is. He lives on Ocotillo Boulevard
you
in
guys-
Tempe, Arizona.
You guys are mocking my belief in cryogenics.
It's a goof.
I have
It's a goof.
I have a right to believe in cryogenics.
You can believe in whatever you want. Someone is going to sucker. Remember the guy in India who you sent money to? They're going to sucker you in cryogenics too.
So you know what? You guys are such good friends. You had to bring up John McEntee. You had to bring up John McEntee again.
Yeah.
That was nice of you.
Yep.
That was nice.
Yep. Because you're going to get suckered. I'm trying to help you.
You're trying to help.
You're trying to help you. Some guy from the cryogenic university is going to call you up. Hey,
Alcor is a scam. It's all a
it's a
scam.
scam. It's a way to make
They
money.
don't have scientists working night and day right now trying to figure out.
They're working night and day on the beaches of South Beach, Miami.
Oh.
They're taking the hundreds of thousands that you sent them and they're going vacationing.
Okay, well, I wanted to mention this because we've talked a lot about Doge and Doge being unconstitutional.
Yeah.
Doge doing a great job. Well, the Doge has helped the U.S. Coast Guard save $32.7 million by eliminating an ineffective IT program known as the Logistics Information Management System. The Department of Homeland Security confirmed this to Fox Digital. So the Coast Guard has been using this terrible IT system for... Dave, why are you doing this? What did I do to you?
He looks ready to go. He looks ready to go.
Is this because I screwed up the other podcast setting it up? Is this you're trying to get back at me? Look at your face. Your face is beet red right now.
This is
Your
great.
face is red like
Frozen
a
head.
radish. You think this is funny?
Here are the news.
Listen, you know what's going to be funny, Dave? 5,000 years from now, when I'm unfrozen and woken up and living my life and walking down the street, and you're not.
There he is.
And you're not. That's what's going to be funny.
He looks healthier than hell.
That's what's going to be funny. 5,000 years from now, I'm going to be walking the streets alive when they
I'm going to be for Halloween. I already know. That's what I'm going to be. That's what I'm going to be for Halloween.
The head looks a little small.
Dave, if you do this to me, it's going to change our relationship forever.
Yeah.
You cannot do this to me. Because I believe in. I don't mock you for the born again Christian stuff. You're mocking me for my belief.
You can certainly mock me for it.
I would never do that because I love you.
I do.
I love you
that
so much to mock
costume. That costume is funny. That costume is funny. You have to admit, that's a great costume.
But
Steve, that's what you should go as for Halloween next year. Ted Williams, and you hold the head.
Hold your head.
Okay, first of all, I could never pull off Ted Williams. If I was going to pull anyone off, it'd be Babe Ruth. I'm the Sultan of SWAT. I'd have to be Babe Ruth. No one's going to buy me as Ted Williams. Second of all, I believe in cryogenics, and I believe it's going to work.
I don't think that cryogenics is not possible. I think we had a whole podcast on it.
No, we did. They just have to figure out how to unfreeze them. That's what they're working on.
That's the biggest problem. So I don't think it's possible, but I mean, I do think it's possible, but
and they're going to transplant the
as soon as they unfreeze them.
Well,
they're going to have to pay to try to get them in somebody's body again or wake them up. It's not going to happen. They don't want to pay.
It's already paid for. It's already covered.
Yeah, I understand.
You're saying there's going to be an additional cost to be unfrozen?
The freezing is already paid for, but to unthaw them, then you got problems. What if there's problems and they got to sink more money in?
Oh, and there's nobody there from your family to. Yeah.
It's going to be 5,000 years later. There's not going to be anybody there.
We'll figure that out.
I know you paid the very low price of $1 million to preserve yourself, but now it costs $500 million to unthaw due to inflation. I guess we'll have to kill you.
Who's going to pay for you? Kal-El from fucking Krypton?
No, Dave. I just want the Coast Guard eliminated this IT program that was bullshit for years. $32.7 million. They were using this IT program that was garbage for years. Doge found it, cut it, and saved them that kind of money. So that shows that Doge is doing its job. Doge belongs, and they are trimming the fat one day at a time. Isn't that impressive? Isn't that impressive?
Hello, base. This is Coast Guard Cutter Swanson. We just want to know, can you tell us if we are in water or not? Could IT tell us if we are in water or not, please? Thank you.
The other question I had.
That'll be $32 million.
Do you know, have any idea who's going to run against Kathy Hochul? I'm really starting not to like her.
You're talking to me?
Yeah.
Right now, a box of donuts could run against Kathy Hochul and probably pull off the victory.
Yeah.
There is not one segment of the state that enjoys her.
No, she's awful.
We were forewarned of this. Awful. Everyone was excited when Governor Cuomo was on the way out.
Yeah.
Because he was groping people in his office, which we've heard stories from Billy the liquor guy about the governor. But
Billy liked Cuomo.
Yeah, he did. Well, because Cuomo gave him a little boost in promotion of that. Right. Yeah. But we all thought Kathy Hochul, wow, she's gonna be a breath of fresh air. Thank God we get rid of this slime bag Cuomo, and then she comes in and it is like Cruella DeVille.
I don't think she knows what she's doing.
Well, what she's doing is she has pushed the liberal agenda to the max.
Well, the bail
you can turn
thing alone,
everything across the board from carbon, from emissions. Listen. She didn't want any pizzerias to have coal-fired ovens. You couldn't have coal-fired pizza.
That's outrageous.
And if you had wood-fired, you had to have some kind of an exhaust system that would collect the smoke from the wood. What it is, it's insanity.
It is.
I could straighten this shit out right away in any state or this country.
I think you could too.
I take the affected party who has been infected. Okay, by extreme liberal views, and I take them out back, and I just slam a live cam, just like we're doing now, and I beat the living fuck out of them with a 2x4.
Yeah, because you can't change their mind.
So I got to beat them senseless.
You're going to beat them.
So exactly. After a while, corporal punishment is not a bad idea. when you go to Thailand and you steal something, they cane you.
They cane you. Yeah.
They cane you. You know how many people are stealing over there? How many foreigners?
No, they don't want to.
Not many at all. Corporal punishment sometimes is a good thing.
And I'll just tell you this
for you. I have a question for both of you. Have you heard of the case in Texas where the one kid who's African American stabbed?
The beat down and the charges.
No, I heard that. Yeah, they were at a track meet, and the stories are insane.
Do you find it incredible that this is somehow a racial thing that people are trying to pin on the person that was murdered?
Right.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Right.
It's victim blaming.
What's happening here is you can't. Right. There was a story that just came out. I just watched a little while ago about this, where the rampant internet stories that are being built up about the accused and the accuser, in other words, the victim, and then the stories that have been built up are so fabricated. And such a box of lies is that you can't decipher what actually is the truth on any part of the story whatsoever. No, it almost forces you to do what the media has been great at doing the last 30, 40 years. So not word salad. They force you to take a side instead of waiting for the information to come out.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The information is there. It's slow. It'll be processed. It will go to court. They'll find out. The kid's already got almost $200,000 in a GoFundMe. They say it's going to go to representation for defense.
Dave, we got to start a GoFundMe. If he's getting $200K for that, I mean,
right? I'm hearing that the attacker was an honor student and football player and outstanding young man, all that.
Great
and then I see other stuff posted online that says his sophomore year 1.0 is a grade point average, junior year 1.1 grade point average, senior. So I mean, now obviously that's probably bullshit too. No, we don't know what to believe, and they're throwing everything out there to confuse the public. Every person out there is doing it with their own personal agenda onto it. And unfortunately, what's happened now with the beautiful age of internet and everybody's a journalist.
Yeah.
Anybody that's got a fucking camera in their hand is a journalist.
Yes.
Right? If they got a phone in their hand, they're a journalist. They can report anything, they can tweet anything, and they can put anything out there, and they can make it all up. And now you've got AI, which can give you such great graphics and can give you such great presentations. You can do whatever you want. Right. You can get a lawyer. So what I think what we as Americans need to do is we need to step back and really take time and look at every piece of information possible before coming out and tweeting something that sounds totally off of the wall.
The last thing I wanted to ask you, that Griffo guy was on Keeler Friday.
That Griffo guy?
The Senator
Joseph Griffo.
He said that had Cuomo, the stuff that went down with him.
Yeah.
If none of that happened, Hochul never would be governor.
That's correct.
That's amazing.
That's correct.
That's absolutely amazing. Yep. Hochul never would have been.
But you have to realize something.
She did win. We argued about that.
You know who got rid of Governor Cuomo? DEI got rid of him. The drive for DEI. Absolutely.
Well, it was the report.
Well, listen, all this stuff is generated because now anytime you look at someone, rub up against somebody, make a comment on something, it automatically goes to DEI.
Yes, it does.
And it goes to harassment.
HR.
Exactly.
HR has more power than the FBI.
At certain points in time during and after when COVID was just rounding up, you couldn't look at people.
No.
You couldn't say hello to people. You couldn't shake hands. You couldn't do anything.
No,
because everyone takes offense to something.
Well, and social distancing worked. So,
and it's just, did you see? And not to go back to the transgender thing, it's just
No, I love transgender thing. We get a lot.
So there was a national female pool tournament that just went on right now, and the finals have locked up 2 transgender men in the finals of the female pool tournament. And when you look at
is this a
billiards? Yeah, pool as in POOL. Billiards. It's a billiards tournament. 2 transgenders.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. But the number one, I talk about again going back to the disrespect towards women. But number 2, when you look at both of the participants in the finals, my comment was I didn't know the Hanson brothers played pool. I thought they only played hockey.
Yeah.
If you watched Slapshot, they look just like him. So
I don't know.
To me, it's an insult, but it's the way. It's just one small example of how the country in the last 4.5 years
Why do you need to be transgender to play pool?
has shifted. Well, the whole thing. Well, not true. They believe they're female, so they're entering a competition. They really should not. Do they have a genetic advantage in pool? I don't know. I doubt it.
I don't think.
I doubt it. Or they right? Hit the ball any harder? Right? But my thing is, we've gone off the rails in the last 4.5 years. People that used to have to be kind of quiet because when they opened up their mouth and they sounded like this, we would look at them like something is mentally wrong with that person.
They're deranged.
Now it's expected.
Well, it's sensitivity.
It's expected that any moron can open up their mouth or look the way they want to do and not be singled out.
It's because they're smarter than we are.
No, it's not.
We're just dumb.
It's not.
It's
just not. We're weak. We're weak when that happens.
We're weak and we're dumb. I know. Well, Dave, I apologize for the show before, and this has been a banner Rebel Republic.
Dave, what do you mean? What's he apologizing for, Dave?
Dave, I want
Prisoner 457, please report to the deck swapping unit.
to the shower room, please.
Please bring your lady friend, Johnny.
Could
Johnny.
Could Stephanie Cully please report to the showers?
Dave, I asked about the Democrats running a primary and how it would be running. You said poorly. That was horrible. I wanted a good answer.
That's a great answer.
So I just want good. I want good shorts, and I want shorts with cryogenics in it because I think that's important. We have to feature cryogenics.
Yeah.
It's very important.
Didn't we do? I wonder. Did we do a bunch of shorts on it last time? I think.
We didn't. We didn't
Really?
last time. No, we didn't. We didn't mention it that long.
Frozen. Hey guys, come and join Ben, Jerry, and Ted Williams. It's a freeze ice cream and heads.
And Dave, if you have, we have Joe D on Wednesday.
Okay.
If you have time during the day, another day this week, you remember Erica from the Friday night?
Yes.
She wants to do Rebel Republic. She just couldn't stay up late. So if we have another day that we could do it, she really wants to do it and argue with you. So I think that would be good. So for the voice of reason,
That is me,
Frank Cristiano. For the asshole Dave Schumann, who mocked me for Ted Williams' head and cryogenics and the primary being poor and everything else that I said. Like, I can't speak.
homosexuality,
Anything I say, it's just mocked, and then
prison life,
the person in India,
It's all
the
fun.
person
It's
in
all
India,
fun.
bad
stole my
microphone,
money.
bad setup,
Yeah, everything.
talking into the funnel.
So-
Steve, this has been a great episode here.
So this has been Rebel Republic. We're the most controversial political show around, and you're either with us or you're against us. So for Dave and Frank, I'm the best podcast host in the universe, Steve Cully. Remember, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges, throw them back at life.